Hello everyone, myself Soumya Madgaonkar, studying in B.Ed first year at KLE Societies of College of Education, Ankola. I am going to present a topic, our environment, class 8 standard science biology. Let's know the meaning of environment. What is environment? Our surroundings containing both living and non-living things such as plants, animals, soil, air, water, etc. is called environment. This is the flow chart of our environment. First one, mainly Earth. There are three spheres in the Earth: lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere. These three spheres are together and form the biosphere. Biosphere contains ecosystem and ecological pyramids. In ecosystem, there are three types: food chain, food web and biological magnification. This is the picture of the Earth. Earth is the unique planet in the solar system. It is the only planet that supports life. The Earth is said to have been formed about 4.6 billion years ago, and the first sign of the life is said to have prepared about 3.8 billion years ago. 71% of Earth's surface is covered by water. This part of the Earth is called hydrosphere. It is the only planet in the solar system with abundant liquid water, and this is one of the factors responsible for making life possible on Earth. Water has some unique physical and chemical properties which supports life. Water exists in all the three states: solid, ice, liquid water and gas water vapor. The hydrosphere comprises oceans, rivers, streams, lakes, reservoirs, tanks, ponds, pools and ice caps. Atmosphere. Another unique feature of the Earth is atmosphere, which is a mixture of gases, water vapor and fine dust surrounding the Earth. You know that nearly 78% of the atmosphere is nitrogen and 21% is oxygen, while carbon dioxide, argon and other gases make up the rest. Atmosphere of the Earth at its beginning was rich in carbon dioxide and the oxygen content was very less. Lithosphere. The surface or crust of the Earth is called lithosphere. Lithosphere includes the mountains, the oceans floors and the plain lands. Let's see the concept of biosphere briefly. Biosphere. Biosphere is the area of Earth where life exists. Hydrosphere, atmosphere and lithosphere of the Earth together constitute the biosphere. The distribution of life varies in these areas as seen in the picture. What is ecology? The scientific studies which enable us to understand the totality and pattern of the relations between organisms and their environment is called ecology. It is also known as environmental science. This is the interaction among living organisms. Here, green plants absorb mineral nutrients and water from the soil. The leaves, birds and other parts of these plants are eaten by animals like insects, birds and deer. These animals become the food for other kinds of animals. When these plants and animals die, their dead remains are broken down by microorganisms. Look at the natural system from the point of view of levels of organization. It provides a convenient framework for dealing with complex interrelationships. The most clearly identifiable levels are organisms, species, populations, communities, and ecosystems. Any form of life is called an organism. A variety of organisms are found on the planet Earth, from a single-celled amoeba to humans and from a microscopic bacteria to huge banyan trees. An organisms represent an individual member of the next level is called species. It is a group of similar organisms sharing common genetic structure. For example, human beings belongs to the species Sapiens and also dogs belongs to the species Familiaris. A group of individuals belong to the same species occupying a given area at a given time is called population. The particular area having populations of different species of plants, animals, and other organisms, all these different populations together constitute a biotic community. Members of a community interact with each other. The interaction between living and non living components is called ecosystem. Ecosystem forms the basic unit of environmental science. There are two types of ecosystem, natural ecosystem and artificial ecosystem. Natural ecosystem. The ecosystem formed naturally without any help of an human being is called natural ecosystem. It is classified into two types, that is aquatic ecosystem and terrestrial ecosystem. Ecosystem formed in water is called aquatic ecosystem. Ecosystem formed in land is called terrestrial ecosystem. For example, forest, mountains, grasslands, etc. Artificial ecosystem. Man-made ecosystem are called artificial ecosystem. Examples: gardens, park, zoo, etc. Components of ecosystem. There are two components. First one, abiotic components. The non-living components are called abiotic components. They represent the physical and chemical conditions in the environment. Physical factors includes air, light, heat, soil, rainfall and humidity. Chemical factors are includes various organic and inorganic substances. Second one, biotic components. The living components are called biotic components. They are represented by plants, animals, bacteria and fungi. Plants are described as autotrophs since they are capable of manufacturing their own food. Is called autotrophs. Green plants in land ecosystem and algae in aquatic ecosystems are described as producers. These green plants and algae are called as producers and these are the autotrophs. Heterotrophs. Animals are heterotrophs since they cannot prepare their own food. Heterotrophs depends on producers for their food either directly or indirectly. Hence, in any ecosystem, animals are described as consumers. Animals differ in their food habits. In that first one, primary consumers. There are animals which feed only on plants and they are called herbivores. In the ecosystems, herbivores are described as primary consumers since they obtain their food energy by feeding directly on plants. For example, deer, grasshopper and cattle. Secondary consumer. There are animals which obtain their food by eating herbivores. They are described as secondary consumers. Example, deer or cattle may become the food for lions or tigers. Examples like frogs, lions, tigers are secondary consumers. Tertiary consumer. Animals obtain their food by feeding on secondary consumers. They represent the tertiary consumers. The frogs which have eaten the grasshoppers may become the food for snakes. Hence, in this example, snake represents tertiary consumers. Trophic levels. The producers and the different kinds of consumers, primary, secondary and tertiary, are involved in a nutritional relationship involving eating and being eaten. They represent different levels of feeding in the ecosystem, hence are described as trophic levels. Food chain. The kind of nutritional relationship where the food energy is getting transferred from one trophic level to another is called food chain. This is the example for the typical food chain. where the plant is eaten by the grasshopper, grasshopper is eaten by the bird, bird is eaten by the snake, and finally snake is eaten by the owl. First one, grazing or herbivorous food chain. In this food chain, primary consumers are plant eating animals. Most of the food chains belong to this category. Such food chains are also known as predatory food chains. Example as seen in the picture. Second one, Ditivorous food chain. In this food chain, primary consumer is Dititivore. Ants, termites, earthworms, millipedes, and crabs are called Dititivores because they feed on Dititivores, that is, fallen leaves, parts of dead trees, and similar kinds of organic matter. Examples: dead leaves is eaten by woodlouse, woodlouse is eaten by blackbird. Third one, parasitic food chains. In this type, either the producer or consumer is parasitized. The transfer of food energy may occur through a series of parasites. Example, tree. Tree is fruit eating birds. Fruit eating birds are eaten by the lice and bugs. Lice and bugs are eaten by the fungi. Food web. Every organisms at every trophic level becomes linked to several food chains at the same time. Thus, in every ecosystem, we have a complex network of interconnected food chains is called food web. Energy flow in an ecosystem. How does food become energy in organisms? Organisms need energy for all their activities. When organisms consume food, the carbohydrates in their food become the source of energy. This energy is released, as you are aware, through a process called respiration. It makes the stored energy in the carbohydrates available for biological work. Energy flow in an ecosystem. The main source of energy for all ecosystem is solar energy. As you know, only green plants can trap this energy and store it in the form of carbohydrates. When primary consumers eat the producers, energy also moves up the trophic level. However, during this transfer, almost 90% of the energy is lost to the environment as heat, a form in which it cannot be used again. As we move up the trophic levels, the amount of available usable energy keeps on decreasing at each level. Only about 10% of the energy reaches any given trophic level. The graphical representations of organisms occupying each trophic level in an ecosystem are called ecological pyramids. In that first one, pyramid of numbers, a pyramid constructed based on the number of individuals occupying each trophic level in a given place and time in an ecosystem is called pyramid of numbers. In most of the ecosystem, for the most of the food chains, the pyramid of number will be upright, since the number of individuals at the successive trophic levels keep on decreasing. Here the examples of the pyramid of numbers. First one, upright pyramid and inverted pyramid. Second one, pyramid of biomass. A pyramid constructed based on the biomass is called pyramid of biomass. For most of the food chains, the pyramid of biomass will be upright. In some aquatic food chains, it may be inverted. Here the pictures of pyramid of biomass, upright pyramid of biomass and inverted pyramid of biomass. Pyramid of energy, a pyramid constructed on the basis of the amount of energy fixed at each trophic level is called pyramid of energy. In any ecosystem for any food chain, the pyramid of energy will always be upright. Here the picture of pyramid of energy, always upright in state. Increase in the concentration of a toxic substances such as DDT, mercury, cadmium, etc. with every link in the food chain is called biological magnification or biomagnification. Biomagnification of DDT. DDT concentration at different trophic levels. In zooplankton, DDT concentration is 0.04 ppm. In small fish, 0.5 ppm. In large fish 2 ppm, and finally in eagles there is 25.0 ppm.